So it says Giada wants to talk. I'm going to run back to camp and talk to her. I want to see what she has to say. Like, what the hell could possibly be so important that we gotta stop what we're doing here? You know? Is it even gonna allow us to go back? It must, because, like, we're kind of just stuck in this region from now on, right? So... Surely it'll allow us to talk to her. I still can't get over, like, it's just so fucking weird that they have one of the, like, the giant magfold, and nobody talks about it. Nobody says anything about it, nobody mentions it. It's just there. Alright, Giada, what do you have to say that's so important?
I'm glad I had the opportunity to catch up with Liviana. She's doing well for herself. My mother had many friends, but Liviana was one of the few who truly believed in her.
The other animancers doubted your mother.
They thought her research was dangerous. From an animancer, that's saying something. Liviana helped design the phantasmal focus. The interlocking rings were her personal touch. She didn't stay long after the accident. Maybe she took it hard. I don't know.
She offered you a place at her clinic.
She always does. Liviana never wanted me to become an animancer. She thought I should abandon my family's work, find another way to grieve. But the Castell does not give up that easily, no matter the cost. Anyway, thanks for listening.
That's it?
Anything? Pleasant dreams.
Fucking bizarre, dude.
I can't wait to give the Steel Garrote a piece of my mind.
That being said... Let's see, is this pre or post wartime conversation? I think that's pre-wartime. I want to load this save and see if this is prior to the big fight. Or I should say prior to the political proceedings. If it is, perfect. I don't think it is, though. Damn.
I can't wait to give the Steel...
Yeah, because it just says reach the city, yeah. Damn, I was gonna say I want to see if I can't just side with the Steel Garrote. But it doesn't look like my autosaves go that far back, because then you just have manual save here. Damn, that sucks. That's weird though, I could have sworn it would have autosaved. Yeah, oh well. Well, I guess I can really quick just go and do a quick cut of the other ending and go from there. So let's load this. You want freedom once more. It's what you've asked for from the beginning.
We want nothing more than that. We mourn our past. We only seek peace now. A chance to regrow.
The only way I can set you free is if you truly want to change.
We trust you. You who have been by our side for so long. You met death, and you sought vengeance.
I couldn't trust Eagwolf not to kill me again.
Give us peace. We want a chance to change. We deserve that opportunity.
If you can promise you will be better.
Do you think we have learned nothing from you? We deserve more than this prison. Let us have a chance to rest. We want peace. Or do you have no more mercy for us than you did for the bear?
I had no choice but to deal with that monster.
Yes. We have seen what you do to those you call monsters. We asked what you would do with an animal that sickened after
Yes,
a
I
fight.
remember.
More than anything, treat us as you would. Grant us the same. The time has come for you to act. End our pain, and the dream scourge will cease. Give us peace. It is all we have wanted for so long.
I'll free you. Just show me how.
Center your thoughts. Reach for us. Clear the fog. Tear down the gates. We were so blind, so lost. We brought such horrors to this place. We feel bright. We had forgotten what it is to live. We will grow, tend, flower. We will always remember this. We will remember you when you are ash and soil and mulch.
Oh yeah, it's playing out differently. I'm not the one opening the portal this time, am I? Oh god, you can see the skybox! Oh, that was terrible!
Andra's depths. Are we back in Dawnshore?
This is Sapadal's doing. I'm certain of it. No power in Aora could transport us so quickly, or so far.
Back to the beginning, where it all started.
What happened to the living land started long ago, and we're going to finish it.
Are you seeing this?
Looks like the war already started.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks?
Hey, at least you didn't let 6 years go by.
Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time, assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. It feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel garrote banners past the barricades.
Even Raingrim is here.
I think I see Elia as well.
The Blessed Day Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us.
That's fine. I'm used to ending fights I didn't start.
Always better than the reverse.
The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time.
Before we go,
I freed Sapadal from their prison. The Dream Scourge is over.
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
it's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem. I only hope we can say the same about Sapadal. Time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free. And the living land is free to heal.
We've cured the land, and we've even freed a caged god. All in all, rather a successful day.
Maybe they'll help us in return.
Kid and God entwine. The flower shades the soil in which it grows.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of enjoying not talking to Sapadal.
No one. I couldn't
Mean
think.
as that is to say.
On what does the
Whatever it
what's
takes.
the point?
Blah, blah, blah.
Right now?
We're just gonna skip past all this crap.
Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions.
I freed Sapadal. That is incredibly world-changing.
Perhaps. A new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice.
The decision I made was the right one, I felt in the moment.
Wise answer, that. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire.
I hope we meet again in better circumstances.
Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time. Goodbye, Envoy. And Yardsley, I do look...
Oh, yes. Well,
Yeah, I'm not really too upset that Yardsley is not happy with her living arrangement or whatever. Couldn't give less of a shit about Yardsley. Alright, let's see what, because I know Marius is just going to say the same crap he said before. We'll skip through his stuff real quick.
There you
Giada's will probably change.
Not before I've done some reading. We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. You liberated the god of the living lands. Now they are unchained, free to do whatever they want. I thought you intended to destroy them, but you are as unpredictable as ever. That's quite a gamble you made.
Would you have done any different?
I'm not sure. Too many variables. Regardless, I support your decision. If not for you, Sapadal would still be pacing their cage like a wild animal. Which means you have leverage over a god. How do you plan on using it?
I don't think about my relationship with Sapadal that way.
You're probably better off then. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions.
Either way, things couldn't continue as they had.
For better or worse, change is inevitable. Maybe you'll find some comfort in prayer, now that one of the gods is listening. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp.
For you, anything.
You're too kind. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Until next time.
Skip.
If I must.
Alright, now we're just gonna speed run off to the ending and we'll see how it plays out. Boudica imprisoned Sapadal in the garden. I let them out.
Boudica no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Naku Tedek was riven with those things.
Similar roots had infected the structures at Naku Kubel, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god. How could you let such a creature go free?
I could no more leave a young god to rot in a cage than I could a kith child.
Altruism is fertile ground for folly, I've found.
It was Adir's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Having Sapadal at our beck and call might be to our advantage. I'd like to see Rawatai try to stand toe-to-toe against a god.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now. But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. Inquisitor Lödwyn has already joined the battle.
That's done? Who's hungry?
Take worth and wrath!
Watch out!
I'm with you!
Let's finish this.
Worth and wrath!
Found you. Good fight.
Take worth and wrath!
Oh my god! Was that super necessary? Jesus. They skeet shot Ranger Dorsey. It's insane.
I'll hang back and watch the gate.
We've got company here.
Take Worth and Rob!
Couldn't have done it better.
What?
Careful, to the left.
Welcome to the right side of history.
Take Worth and Rob!
Another soul for the crowd.
Worth and Rob! Fuck.
Go on, dear. I can take care of the plaza on my own.
Mordecai demands your
down.
submission. Stand against her and fall.
That's Lödwyn ahead. Lead on. I'm with you to the end.
Alright.
There you are.
Let's see how this plays out now.
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time?
Lödwyn, I don't want to kill you, I just want this to end.
Our conflict was foretold the moment you were born. You can no more avoid it than I can die. Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
This is an order, Lödwyn.
Oh, but it is. Some wounds must be cauterized in order to heal.
Cauterized? Your troops have nearly burned Paradis to the ground.
The only question is, what's to be done with you? You, who were once so bright and promising.
Her mind is already made up. She's just toying with us.
Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live.
As usual, you're leaping to conclusions about something you barely understand.
Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
I won't fight you, Lödwyn. I don't need to.
You will. You must. You have no choice. Face me and die with honor, or fall to your knees and die as a coward. How you die doesn't matter, but you will die. Every vestige of Sapadal must be wiped from this earth. The Burned Queen demands it.
We are a challenge to her authority. She is afraid of what we mean.
Oh, you're kidding. Are you fucking serious? Is it too late for me to load like a second ago? Yes. I was not expecting to need maxed out intelligence. God damn. Alright. Character. Intellect is 12 right now. We can reset. I'm just gonna max out intellect real quick. Because I genuinely do not trust that they will lie down and let me do that without maxing out a skill. Boudica's frightened of Sapadal. They exist outside of her power, a new heir to the throne of the gods.
Blasphemy. Sapadal is a clot in the heart of the world. What should they matter to the true gods of Eora? Your god will meet their end just as soon as I'm through with you. Hear me, Envoy. I am the avatar of the Burned Queen, the goddess of retribution. I am her sword arm, her will in the world. And so long as I can fight, I will be her champion.
But she failed to ensnare the living lands, and we are free. How long until Boudica finds a new avatar?
Your plans lie in ruin. Sapadal is free, and I'm alive.
I've done all that I could. She sees that. She must. It isn't my fault. Whenever you could, you stood in my way. I believed we were alike, Envoy. That when the time came for you to prove your loyalty, you would choose Adir. I believed the dream of our future, of our resurgent empire, would move you as it does me. And if that failed, I believed the Burn Queen would stop you. Yet here you stand before me, my enemy, unopposed by the gods. Why?
The worm of doubt gnaws at her soul. Where was Boudica when she needed her most? Where is she now?
If Boudica really believed in you, she would have made sure you won. She wanted you to fail.
No! The Burned Queen witnessed my devotion and accepted me as her champion. I don't need anything else. I can still prevail. I must.
I see no Burned Queen here. Bordicus abandoned you.
I feel her fire in me. I know I do.
Do you?
Boudica, my lady! Where are you?
No answer.
She despises you. Despises your weakness.
No! It's not true!
Shame. Suffocating shame.
You're nothing.
Stop! I can't!
Give up, Lödwyn. It's over.
No! 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 Forgive me! Boudica!
Wherever Lödwyn is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for. But we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
That was kind of disappointing. She really just...
At last.
Oh.
We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradis, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradis militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the Living Lands has escaped Adiran oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. For the rebels of Paradis, this is not a victory they can share. Fearing your wrath, they retreat deeper into the wilderness, taking their secrets and ideals with them. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. In time, the people of Emerald Stair return to their city of Fior Messiverno. Research yields new developments in the struggle against nature. Technology is shared among the united settlements. The Empire cannot get in the way of progress. Though free, Shatterscarp is still haunted by the surviving Dream Thralls after the destruction of Naku Kubel. The routine hunt for the remaining monsters becomes part of Thirdborn's everyday life, another chore atop a hardscrabble existence with few comforts. The youthful make a game of the hunt, retrieving artifacts from the dead to return to those they left behind. Solace Keep clings to its long-held isolation at first, but after mourning her friend Kostya, Mihala reluctantly deigns to open the doors of the fortress. Some dwarves greet newcomers with glee. Others still mutter darkly about outsiders. Mihala flounders in her earliest negotiations with the rest of the living lands, but slowly learns compromise. She develops a taste for Valian sweets. When Kai returns to Thirdborn, he's no longer running. He finds a town that's been diminished by struggle, conflict, and tragedy. He finds home. He helps repair Thirdborn's walls and train its defenders, carrying on Tama's legacy. And while his labors do not restore all that was lost, they build something new. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the Envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a Warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Mes Iverno lives on in her. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yatsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Mes Iverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yatsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sapadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sapadal pours a fragment of their power into the statue they claimed from the temple of Aethys. Newly embodied, they roam the living lands and learn to experience the world as Kith do. Their first attempts at locomotion are clumsy, and a stand of innocent trees is violently returned to the wheel. But as their confidence grows, so does their grace. Soon, they are bounding across the plains of eastern Dawnshore, leaping the river gorge in Emerald Stair, scaling the shark's teeth of Shatterscarp, and fearlessly wading into the Tusk's acid sea.
When they break, they come to you to put them back together. And in time, they learn to fix themselves. They wander far afield. You see less of them, but they are never far from your thoughts. And on the rare occasion they return, they always bring you something beautiful and strange. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.
So, that's it. That's it proper this time. I'm not gonna do the evil Wodaka ending, because I don't even think I have all the prerequisites to do that if I wanted to. But, yeah, all in all, that ending is arguably the best one, and I kind of hate that, because it really does take all the nuance out of the situation, where it really is just like, yeah, you know, freeing the god was actually the right choice all along, and it's like, it certainly didn't feel like it. It certainly felt like, ominous, and, you know, like, things are liable to happen again, you know, but that little end thing made it out that actually nothing bad ever happened ever again, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of stupid, but whatever, you know, that's fine. I do like how there was an option to convince, Lödwyn to just basically commit suicide, or for her to lose her faith in her god, which as a result means that her aspect as a Death Knight fails and she just dies, which is what would happen, I guess. I mean, overall, the game as a whole is actually really good. Well, I should say it's just good. It's just good. I don't want to say it's really good. It's just good. This is, I've had a lot of fun playing this. I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the characters. The characters were fun. With the exception of Yatsley, but even she had her moments. But all the characters were really fun. The quests were, you know, they were quests. They were okay. It was nothing really mind, you know, breaking, or groundbreaking, I should say, not mind breaking. Whoa, what the hell? It was nothing really groundbreaking, but it was definitely like, you know, every now and then there would be some quests where it's like, huh, that's kind of interesting, right? Like, I don't immediately have to solve the problem with violence, you know, that's cool. And there's some times where it's really like, man, I really wish I could just solve this problem with violence. And you do have that option, but people will think less of you as a result. Which is kind of how it would happen anyway, right? Like, I killed the person that killed me because that felt right. Frankly, it didn't feel right for me to just let him go. I felt like I should kill him, you know, to really be sure. And also, I wanted his armor. You know, if something as petty as that, it's totally understandable. The game itself looks really good. Occasionally, you have a lot of issues of stuttering that would happen pretty frequently. The stuttering would happen a lot. And occasionally you get, like, flickering, and a lot of times, like, the cutscenes were particularly bad. Like, something about the way everything was animated and moved and played out. I mean, hell, in that last cutscene, the last Portal one we watched, you could literally see the cube map for the skybox. That's terrible. That was really bad, and, like, nobody caught it. It's like, come on, man, we're right at the end of the game, nobody caught that? That's insane. It's nuts. One of the, I don't know why this game is called Avowed. That is still something that is, like, I'm confused by, you know? Because, like, usually you can play a game and you can understand why the game is called what it's called. I don't know why this game is called Avowed. I don't know why it isn't just called Pillars of Eternity. Honestly, you could have just called this The Living Lands. But no, they went with Avowed, which I don't think is ever a word that is uttered once. Occasionally people will say, you know, remember your vow to the Emperor or whatever, but, like, frankly, it has, like, very little to do with anything. But, long story short, I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed this game a lot. I actually had a blast playing this. I enjoyed this way more than Starfield. Significantly shorter, way more enjoyable, better character work, arguably better dialogue, it was way more engaging. Very different game. Very, very different game, mind you. This was no Skyrim killer. This was never intended to be a Skyrim killer. And I think this game was unfairly maligned by YouTube reviewers and whatnot. Critics were pretty actually fair for once. All the critics were like, yeah, this game's alright. Play it if you want. That's my take on it. The game's alright. Give it a chance. Woke stuff? There's no woke stuff in this. There's, like, one gay character, and then one of your companions may or may not have had feelings for a man. That's it. There's, like, actually, like, no woke stuff in this, so people calling the game woke confused the absolute shit out of me. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I enjoyed it. I would definitely say give this a shot. Pick it up for yourself. It's on Game Pass. It's basically free. Honestly, I kind of hope there's DLC for this, because if a DLC comes out for this, I'll probably buy it. You know what? I spent enough time on this game, and I enjoyed it enough that I'd be willing to give a DLC a shot. Will there be a DLC is the good question. Because unfortunately, this game did not do very well in sales. They said they were happy with the sales they got, but I kind of know that's not true. Especially with, as we have seen now, the recent release of the Oblivion remaster blew just about every other single-player game that's released this year out of the water instantly. Veilguard got blown the fuck out, and Avowed got blown the fuck out, so it's, yeah. Yeah. But overall, I quite enjoyed the game. Honestly, my favorite parts of it were probably the beginning, and apparently that's a hot take. A lot of people don't like the beginning of the game. I rather enjoyed the beginning of the game. I liked how, like, interconnected it felt. And oddly enough, like, the beginning of the game felt the most interconnected out of all of it. Emerald Stair was actually really dynamic. I liked it a lot. Shatterscarp, visually, is a zone that has a lot of stuttering problems, which is odd because it has the least foliage. But they're all, like, beautiful. They all have really good, beautiful scenic shots, and they know how to use their environment really well. There's a lot of verticality, there's a lot of establishing shots, everything is set up really properly. Like, I gotta hand it to the world artists. They really did a good job with this. Even everything down to, like, the armors, the weapons, everything looks really good. Like, there's not anything I picked up where I was like, I would never use this. It's like, no, I would definitely, like, if I used maces and hammers, which I'm not a big mace and hammer guy, but if I was, boy, would I be eating good, you know? I'm more of a sword guy, and there were plenty of cool-looking swords in this game. The only thing I was disappointed by was the one-handed swords. There's only, like, 3 different models. I was like, come on now, you could do better than that. Like, hell, the sword this dude, John Avowed here, is holding on the title cover, that sword's just not in the game. And it's like, oh man, that'd be a cool sword to have, though. But, definitely enjoyed it. The magic was fun, the gameplay was fun. I enjoyed messing around with the different skills. I did a little bit of that off screen. Especially because once I got a hold of that, the speed up ability, I was just like, oh man, yeah, that's good fun. That is a fun ability. But yeah, it's just, I wish there was more abilities, if that makes any sense. Like, the magic has a lot of fun utility to it, and it's really, oddly enough, it's dynamic, it interacts with the world, enchantments interact with the world. These are all things that, boy, it'd be cool if the next Elder Scrolls could do something as simplistic as that. But, you know. I will say this game did a lot of hand-holding, with the only exception being Yatsley. When I say hand-holding, I mean when it comes to optional areas. The game almost always had a grenade or environmental thing available for you to access it if you didn't have the magic required. Which is kind of annoying. I'd rather you just need to have those things on hand, and if you didn't, you'd have to go back and get them, right? Like lockpicking, for instance. If you don't have lockpicks, then you can't open the chest. You gotta come back. And Yatsley's enchanting, not enchanting, but her dispelling, is the only other incident of that where it's like, yeah, if you don't have her with you, you've gotta come back. Now, to be fair, those only come up every now and then in Galawain's Tusks and a little bit in Shatterscarp, but still, it's annoying when you come across it, and it's like, man, too bad I don't have Yatsley in my party, because it basically makes her a mandatory requirement, which is annoying. It also helps that she's one of the better, like, DPS companions, but it also sucks because you have to have Yatsley, who is in my rankings of companions my least favorite of the bunch. And I feel like the rankings is pretty obvious, right? Kai's at the top, Marius, Giada, and then Yatsley, which is also, unironically, the order in which you receive them. I'm sure some people might think differently, depending on, you know, their interactions with them, but I felt like I just didn't spend enough time with Giada at all to get attached to her, and every other character felt more important to the zones they were in than Giada or Yatsley. Like, they were just along for the ride. So, it's, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, the introduction bias, right? Like, why is it in Skyrim that I use Faendal and Lydia so much? It's like, oh, well, it's because those are, like, the first companions you get, you know? You kind of get attached to them, whether they're good or not. Just like with Kai. I don't think Kai is a particularly good companion, because he's a tank who can only really aggro one guy at a time. Not very useful when this is a game that highlights significantly group combat. And I think this game does a fantastic job at the group combat, too. That's where it shines the most. But it's just kinda, I don't know. Like, that's what I mean when I say this game is just good, right? It's not great, right? It didn't blow me away, but it was satisfying. You know, it's like, what's one step up from, like, going to fast food? It's like going to, like, you go to, like, instead of, alright, so let's think about some really, no, because I was going to make, like, a food comparison, but it's just not going to work because it's too complex. So I was going to say, you know, think about Skyrim being like the McDonald's, you know? Like, you go to McDonald's to get some cheap fast food, tastes alright, you know, that's subjective, but you know what I mean? I'm fine, I'm chill with McDonald's, I'll eat a McDouble, you know, whatever. Or, sorry, a quarter pounder. But, like, you know, you get McDonald's, you know what you're getting. Right, you play Skyrim, you know what you're getting. And hell, it's even modular, you know? You want no pickle, you get no pickle, you know what I mean? Let me get 2 Big Macs, no bun, and a chocolate malt, please. But you get what you get. You know what you're getting, right? It's not super crazy, it's not complex, it's not even very interesting, but it's satisfying, right? the next step up from that would be like a Red Robin, you know, where it's a chain restaurant, but it's still like the burger's pretty good, you know they're actually getting cooked. Whereas like the top peak of that would be like a proper ass, like a real dedicated burger joint, like family owned, you know, where you know that shit's being made for real. And they got some crazy stuff. Just thinking about family burger, bro. The good stuff. That's like the peak. That's like Witcher 3, you know, or I should say Witcher 2. I would equate this game more closely to a Witcher 2, but not as good. And Witcher 2 still has its faults, but I would equate that very similarly to this in the way it's laid out in a zone-based, open zone concept, right? Because that's how Witcher 2 was. It was very open zone. This functions in the same way, where it doesn't have the same open-ended storytelling, but it's got pretty good character moments, right? It's running on that same BioWare Obsidian setup and style that they're, you know, usually known for. I think this blows the Outer Worlds out of the park. Outer Worlds fucking sucks. And this game is actually good. Not great, not amazing, acceptable. It's good. I would play this. I did play this. Hell, I enjoyed it so much that I was willing to go back and get a better ending because I was not happy with the one I got. and yeah, it's a good time. I highly recommend it if you want to, one, I guess, get into Pillars of Eternity, right? Like, because Pillars of Eternity is a very different kind of game than this. Pillars of Eternity is much more close to like a OG Dragon Age or even a Baldur's Gate type of game, whereas this is third-person action RPG. It's closer to Skyrim in gameplay, I should say, but nowhere near in terms of character interactions, right? Like, stuff is actually happening. The things you do actually affect the world, which is something Skyrim doesn't have the balls to do. But I think, for the most part, I've said my piece on it. As it goes, I think we're gonna call it. I think we're done with Avowed, until maybe there's a DLC or something. I don't know. I've heard zero news on anything like that. In terms of what will be on the channel next, well, I already said the Oblivion Remaster dropped, as predicted, on April 22nd. Although I guess I never actually said that on stream, but I've been saying that for months now. But that dropped on Game Pass. I've already downloaded it. I just gotta play it. That's next. That is next. I know. I thought Skyrim was next. I thought ESO was next. ESO is probably going to be next too. So, Oblivion is a certainty. That is what I am doing next. But ESO, I still have to go back and do the comparisons and the tutorial zones for the update that came out like a month ago now. Jesus. It's been pretty busy here lately. But yeah, Oblivion's next. So get ready for that. Get ready for direct comparisons in terms of gameplay. Because I saw they did a bunch of changes for that, so I'm really interested to see how that goes. But anyways, I think I've rambled on long enough. So I hope you all enjoyed. I certainly did. I think this game's good, and I think you should give it a shot if you haven't already. So, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in whatever I decide to play next. Goodbye.